My name is Rebecca Wiedinghoff. I'm videoing task 13 for VETT 222, which is preparing a vaginal smear. I have my swab here that is clean. I have my saline, which is labeled. I'm going to dampen the swab with the saline.
Oh, Lordy. Lemon bars are great. Everybody should try one.
And then I have my patient here. She is anesthetized. So to get the sample, I'm going to insert the swab into the vagina. Gently rotate the swab to get a sample of cells on the vaginal wall. Take it out. I have my slide ready here. And I'm just going to gently smear a few times on the slide. Get a thin layer. And let it air dry, leaving it in the air for a moment. We're going to be using diff quick stains to stain the slide so that we can look at it under the microscope. And that is dry now.
Oh, no, I'm on this one.
For diff quick staining, you dip it in for about 1 second per dip. 10 dips. So 1, 2. And then you need to rinse off the slide with water in between each so you don't cross-contaminate the dyes. Rinsing again. And the final stain. And rinse. Now this I need to let dry for a few minutes, and then we're going to put it under the microscope to evaluate the cells. Alright, so I have examined the slide in its totality and recorded the kinds of cells that were on that particular slide. In animals, there are 4 kinds of vaginal cells. There's the parabasal, the intermediate, superficial, intermediate, and superficial cells. And technically there's also the basal cells, but they're the ones that give rise to the rest of the cells, and they're very rarely seen on vaginal smears. Those cells are classified as to whether they're cornified or non-cornified, and the only cells that are cornified are the superficial cells. You also see different cells in different stages of estrus. So, and there are the 4 stages of estrus. There's the proestrus, estrus, diestrus, and anestrus. So for proestrus, you're typically going to see a lot of superficial cells, which are pictured. Where did they go? Superficial cells are these ones. That's what they look like under the slide, and that's what you typically see during proestrus. And then during estrus, for proestrus, it's a lot of barapasal cells, and then for estrus, it's superficial cells is what you see a lot of because everything's just sloughing off. And the parabasal cells look like these are the parabasal epithelial cells, so they're kind of small and round. And then as you're moving on into diestrus, you see a lot of different kinds of cells, just in different numbers. It's the superficial cells start to decrease, and you start seeing more parabasal cells again, which you don't really see in estrus. And then in anestrus, you see a lot of the parabasal and intermediate cells again, and that is when the cycle has stopped and she's no longer able to get pregnant at that point, essentially.